Under the moonlit sky, Amina nervously revealed to Kwame that she was pregnant, a revelation that stunned him into silence. The weight of their secret affair now seemed insurmountable, threatening to shatter the fragile peace they had maintained. As whispers began to spread throughout the village, the tension grew, culminating in a dramatic village council meeting where their fate hung in the balance. The community's reaction was a mix of outrage and sorrow, with Chief Kofi's stern expression reflecting the gravity of their betrayal. The emotional high point left viewers breathless, eager to see if love could survive the storm of scandal and societal judgment. Chief Kofi was the leader of Umbala. He was wise and fair, and everyone respected him. He led the village through good and bad times. Chief Kofi had 2 wives, which was normal in Umbala. His first wife, Nana, was strong and important. They had been together since they were young and had built a family. His second wife, Amina, was younger and came from another village. Amina was not only beautiful, but also smart and kind. Everyone liked her. When Amina came to the village, the people celebrated. They wanted to know more about her, and she quickly made friends with her gentle ways and eagerness to learn. Even though she was much younger than Chief Kofi, they respected and cared for each other. Amina brought new happiness to Chief Kofi's life. The people of Umbala were close and helped each other. They often had festivals and gatherings that kept them united. Elders taught the young ones about traditions and shared their wisdom. Children grew up feeling they belonged to a caring community. Everything seemed perfect in Umbala, but beneath the surface, hidden desires threatened to shatter the village's tranquility. These secrets and betrayals set the stage for revealing the darker side of people. Amina's move to Umbala was easy and smooth. The villagers were excited and curious about her, and she quickly won their hearts. She was very beautiful, but it was her kindness and eagerness to learn that made everyone like her. Amina worked hard to understand the customs and traditions of Umbala. She wanted to be a good wife to Chief Kofi and a valuable part of the community. The marriage between Chief Kofi and Amina was meant to make the bond between Umbala and her home village stronger. But soon, it was clear that their relationship was more than just a political move. Even though there was a big age difference, they truly connected. Chief Kofi loved Amina's youth and energy, which brought new life to him. Amina respected and admired Chief Kofi's wisdom and leadership. At first, Nana, Chief Kofi's first wife, was suspicious of Amina. Nana had been the main woman in the family for many years, and the arrival of a younger, beautiful wife felt like a threat. But Amina's humility and respect slowly changed Nana's mind. They developed a friendly relationship, and Nana began to see Amina as a friend, not a rival. Amina quickly got used to her new role and took on the duties of being the chief's wife. She joined in village activities, helped with ceremonies, and became part of daily life in Umbala. Her presence brought new energy to the village, and she became loved by the people. Kwame, Chief Kofi's son from his first marriage, especially liked Amina. He admired her beauty and grace, and they became close friends. Kwame was a promising young man, known for his intelligence and bravery. He often spent time with Amina, talking and laughing together. As the months went by, Amina and Kwame's bond grew stronger. What started as a simple friendship slowly turned into something more. They enjoyed each other's company, sharing stories and dreams that they couldn't tell anyone else. Their talks, full of laughter and real connection, became the best part of their days. Amina was attracted to Kwame's youthful energy and sense of adventure. He was different from anyone she had known, and he made her feel alive in a new way. Kwame, on the other hand, was fascinated by Amina's beauty and wisdom. He admired her strength and toughness, which made her special among the village women. They began meeting more often. finding quiet places where they could be alone. These secret moments were exciting. The thrill of their hidden affair added to their passion, making each meeting more intense. They knew they were taking risks, but their feelings were too strong to resist. Amina and Kwame's relationship was a mix of desire and fear. They knew the trouble they would face if their secret got out. The village had strict rules, and breaking them would bring shame not only to them, but also to their families. But despite this threat, they couldn't stay apart. Their love brought both great joy and deep sadness. They loved the time they had together, but their secret always cast a shadow over their happiness. Each stolen look and whispered word reminded them that their love was forbidden and could never be shown openly. In the quiet corners of the village, away from curious eyes, Amina and Kwame's love story unfolded. It was a story of passion and desire, but also one of coming tragedy. Their secret relationship was built on secrecy and lies, setting the stage for events that would lead to serious consequences for everyone involved. Amina and Kwame's secret love grew stronger every day. They met in hidden places, usually at night or when no one would miss them. These secret meetings made their love even more exciting and risky. They were always afraid of being caught. If someone found out, the punishment would be severe. But this fear made their feelings even more intense. They felt truly alive when they were together, and it was hard to stay apart. Their love was built on lies and secrets. Amina made up excuses for her absences, and Kwame used his duties as a cover. Each lie made them feel guilty, but they couldn't bear the thought of being apart. Over time, some friends started to suspect their relationship. There were whispers and rumors, but no one had proof. Those who knew kept quiet, either out of loyalty or fear. The village was tense as more people got caught up in the secret. Despite the dangers, Amina and Kwame couldn't end their love. Their feelings were too strong. They supported each other, even though the secret was a heavy burden. Their forbidden love made every moment together special. They took bigger risks and made more sacrifices. They knew their time together was limited, and the future was uncertain. One night, under the dark sky and rustling leaves, Kwame and Amina's love overcame their caution. Their passion and fear of being discovered led to a moment that changed their lives forever. In a secluded spot, surrounded by nature, they gave in to their emotions completely. Amina's heart raced as she lay in Kwame's arms, the night sky filled with stars. For a moment, everything felt perfect. Their fears disappeared, leaving only their love. But as dawn approached, reality set in. They parted with heavy hearts, knowing their actions had started something that couldn't be undone. Weeks later, Amina noticed changes in her body. She felt tired all the time, her appetite changed, and a deep sense of unease settled over her. Slowly, she realized she was pregnant. The weight of this realization hit her hard. She knew that carrying Kwame's child would reveal their secret and bring serious consequences. Fear and guilt consumed Amina. She knew she couldn't hide her pregnancy forever, but the thought of what would happen terrified her. The village had strict rules, and an affair involving Chief Kofi's son and his young wife would be seen as a huge betrayal. The punishment would be severe, and the shame unbearable. Kwame felt the same fear and guilt when Amina told him about her condition. He knew their love had led them into danger, and now there was no easy way out. He was torn between his love for Amina and his duty to his family and village. Every decision seemed dangerous, and the future looked bleak. Despite the looming disaster, Kwame and Amina continued to meet in secret, finding comfort in each other's arms. Their love, once joyful and exciting, was now filled with fear and uncertainty. They talked about their options, but none seemed hopeful. Running away, confessing, or hiding the pregnancy all carried big risks. As Amina's belly grew, whispers in the village got louder. Suspicion was in the air, and it was only a matter of time before someone figured out the truth. Amina knew she couldn't hide forever, but the thought of facing the village's anger was too much to bear. She hoped they would find a way to handle the coming storm. Their love had reached a turning point, and there was no going back. Their actions set off a series of events leading to heartbreak and tragedy for everyone involved. As days passed, the tension grew, and the approaching storm threatened to change their lives forever. As the months went by, Amina found it harder to hide her growing pregnancy. She wore loose clothes and avoided public gatherings, but in the small village of Umbala, people noticed everything. Despite her efforts, her changing body was becoming obvious. Her once slim figure now showed clear signs of pregnancy, and her movements became slower and more careful. Whispers began to spread among the villagers. People grew curious and suspicious. The friendly interactions Amina once had with her neighbors turned into suspicious glances and hushed conversations. Amina felt their scrutiny, adding to her growing fear. She knew the consequences would be severe if the villagers found out the truth. Nana, Chief Kofi's first wife, was the first to notice the changes in Amina. Her sharp eyes missed nothing, and she had always been wary of the younger woman. Nana's suspicion turned into certainty as she watched Amina try to hide her condition. Driven by jealousy and fear of losing her position, Nana confronted Amina one evening, demanding the truth. "Amina!" Nana's voice was stern and firm. "What are you hiding from us? Do you think we are blind? I see what is happening. Who is the father of your child?" Terrified and cornered, Amina had no choice but to confess. Tears streamed down her face as she admitted her affair with Kwame and revealed that he was the father of her unborn child. Nana reacted swiftly and without mercy. Her anger was intense, and she immediately told Chief Kofi about the betrayal. The village was thrown into chaos as the scandal erupted. Chief Kofi, known for his wisdom and fairness, faced a situation that deeply hurt his family and honor. His son and young wife had betrayed him. He called for a village meeting, summoning the elders and villagers to address the crisis. In front of the entire village, Amina and Kwame were denounced. The once proud couple stood before their community, heads bowed in shame as the villagers watched in shock, anger, and disbelief. The elders met to decide their fate, knowing their decision would set a precedent and restore the village's honor. The meeting was tense, filled with heated debates and strong emotions. Some elders argued for a severe punishment to deter future transgressions, while others called for compassion, recognizing the complexities of human relationships. In the end, a decision was made. Amina and Kwame would be exiled from Umbala. Their punishment meant to cleanse the village of the dishonor they had brought. As the verdict was announced, Amina and Kwame felt despair. They knew exile meant leaving behind everything they had known and loved. The village, their family, and the life they had built would be lost forever. With heavy hearts and uncertain futures, they prepared to leave Umbala, stepping into the unknown with only their love and the hope that they could survive the trials ahead. The morning sun shone brightly on the village of Umbala as Amina and Kwame prepared for their exile. The night before had been filled with intense emotions and decisions. Though opinions were divided, the villagers accepted the elders' verdict. The atmosphere was heavy with tension, and the usually busy village square was now filled with somber faces and silence. Nana watched with a mix of satisfaction and sorrow as Amina and Kwame packed their few belongings. She had succeeded in exposing the truth, but at a great cost. The once united family was now broken, and the village she loved was in turmoil. Despite her outward confidence, a part of her felt regret for causing such a devastating outcome. Amina was overwhelmed by fear and guilt. Her love for Kwame had led to this situation, and the reality of their exile weighed heavily on her. Looking around the village she called home, she felt a deep sense of loss. The friends she had made, the children she had taught, and the life she had built were now beyond reach. She sought comfort in Kwame's presence, but his face mirrored her despair. Kwame was torn between his love for Amina and his loyalty to his father and village. The betrayal left him conflicted, and their actions weighed heavily on his conscience. He knew exile was the only way to preserve his remaining honor, but leaving his family and home behind filled him with anguish. He vowed to protect Amina and their unborn child, but their future was uncertain. As they reached the edge of the village, the elders and Chief Kofi stood solemnly, watching them leave. Chief Kofi's heart ached with betrayal and sorrow. He had loved Amina and had high hopes for Kwame, but their actions shattered his trust. The punishment was necessary to restore the village's honor, but it did not ease the pain of losing his son and wife. The villagers were also conflicted. Some felt sympathy for Amina and Kwame, understanding that love could lead people astray. Others felt anger and disappointment, believing such a betrayal deserved severe consequences. The once close community was now divided, with strained relationships and eroded trust. As Amina and Kwame walked away from Umbala, the weight of their exile bore down on them. They had no clear destination, no plans, and no certainty about what lay ahead. All they had was each other and the hope that they could survive in the harsh wilderness. Their journey would be filled with challenges and hardships, testing their love and resilience. With each step, they left behind the life they had known, stepping into the unknown with only their love to guide them. The path ahead was dangerous, and the consequences of their actions would continue to haunt them. Yet, in their hearts, they held on to a glimmer of hope that they could build a new life together, free from the shadows of their past. The sun was high when Amina and Kwame reached the outskirts of Umbala. The path ahead was uncertain and dangerous, but they had no choice but to move forward. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, the reality of their exile began to set in. They were now outcasts, cut off from their village, left to survive on their own in the harsh landscape. Back in the village, the elders returned to the square to address the community. The atmosphere was tense as Chief Kofi stood before his people, looking serious. The villagers gathered around, eager to hear his words and find some closure after the recent events. "My people," Chief Kofi began, his voice steady but emotional, "today we have seen the consequences of betrayal and the price we must pay to keep our honor. Amina and Kwame have been exiled, and their fate is now in the hands of the gods. Let this remind us all of the importance of trust, loyalty, and the bonds that hold our community together." The villagers listened closely, showing a mix of emotions. Some nodded in agreement, thinking justice had been served, while others looked sad, feeling sorry for Amina and Kwame. The division within the community was clear, and it was obvious that the recent events had left a lasting impact. Nana, standing among the crowd, felt both triumph and unease. She had succeeded in exposing Amina and Kwame's affair, but at a high cost. The family she had worked to protect was now broken, and the village was in turmoil. She wondered if her victory was worth it, and whether the wounds in the community would ever heal. As days passed, life in Umbala slowly began to return to normal. The villagers resumed their daily routines, but the shadow of the scandal still lingered. Relationships were strained and trust was weakened. Chief Kofi worked hard to restore unity and peace, but the task was challenging. Meanwhile, in the wilderness, Amina and Kwame faced their own struggles. Survival was tough, and the harsh conditions tested their strength. Food and water were scarce, and predators were a constant threat. Despite the difficulties, their love for each other gave them strength and hope. They believed they could overcome the odds and build a new life together. One evening, as they sat by a small fire, Amina looked at Kwame with a mix of hope and fear. "Kwame, do you think we will ever find peace? Will we ever be able to live without looking over our shoulders, without fearing others' judgment?" Kwame took her hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "Amina, I can't promise what the future holds, but I know that as long as we have each other, we will find a way. Our love is strong, and it will guide us through the darkest times. We must hold on to that hope and never give up." As the fire crackled and the stars twinkled in the night sky, Amina and Kwame found comfort in each other's presence. The road ahead was uncertain and filled with challenges, but they were determined to face it together. Their journey had just begun, and the trials ahead would test their love and resilience in ways they could never have imagined. Hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified when new stories are uploaded. Like and share with friends and family. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon.